everybody, it's Kia. So today I wanted to do the first weekly check-in for the month of August. As you can tell, I do have my expense tracker here, and we had a lot going on the first week. It took up almost the entire first page. This is actually where it leaves off. So we had a lot going on. But before we dive in, I just wanted to give a quick thank you to all the new subscribers and for everybody leaving the wonderful comments and liking my videos. It really does mean a lot to me. So if you do like this content, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and leave a comment down below so that I know you're here. I love reading the comments, and I really do appreciate all the support. It has just been amazing. This has already been a really stressful journey, but I have to say that now that I'm kind of figuring things out with our expense tracking, and now that we're kind of to the point where we wanted to be, we're really trying to sit down and plan a few things out to see where we want to be by the end of the year and kind of how we're going to get there and how far we're going to be able to get in our debt-free journey. So this has been super, super exciting for me. It's almost kind of like an adrenaline rush to see, each little debt disappear. And although you guys have only seen part of the debt payoff so far for the year, we have actually made quite a bit of progress this year, and I have just been so excited every month just to see how much more progress we've made. So I cannot wait to see where we are at the end of the year, at the end of next year, and just to really continue on and complete this journey. It really has been amazing so far. So thank you guys for your support. I really do appreciate it. So if you haven't done it already and you do like my videos and you want to follow us along on this journey, please make sure to hit the subscribe button. That way we can connect more in the future. And let's go ahead and dive in. So as you can tell, we did have several purchases. Anything in blue is actually debt payments. Anything is yellow are actually just transfers between bank accounts and things like that, ins and outs basically between the accounts. So we did have several shopping and grocery purchases throughout the week. Part of it was trying to put together that dog fence. If you haven't watched my previous videos, we have been having issues with two of our dogs getting out of the fence. We do have a pro panel fence. They have a nice size yard, I want to say. I mean, it's not super, super big, but I want to say it's probably at least 100 feet by 40 feet wide. So, I mean, it's a pretty good sized fence, and they can get out there and run, and we generally had not had an issue with the dogs getting out. This is something new that just kind of popped up last month, and it seems like as soon as she figured out that she could dig her way out of the fence, Mama follows her, and it was like trying to trap Houdini in. It has just been really bad. So at the end of July, we decided that we needed to get one of those underground electric dog fences. We had been trying to avoid it. We've been trying to patch her holes that she's been digging with rocks and things like that, but she just keeps going and finding new places to dig out. And we live not really close, but pretty close to a busy highway. So that just made me really, really scared. Plus they're big dogs, and I'm a little nervous about what, if somebody saw my big old St. Bernard running at them, because she wants love and attention usually. Anyways, usually how it goes. But if somebody saw that big old dog running at them, what are they going to do to her? So I've been really, really nervous about everything. So we decided to go ahead and dive in and get the electric fence. Well, after we ordered it, then our vacuum went out. So that is a good chunk of our shopping this week. But I have to say that we were able to figure out how to cash flow it between the two paydays, and we will have just about everything installed and purchased and paid off by the middle of this month. So super, super exciting. So let's go ahead and walk through the expenses. I won't go into detail on every one of them because, as you can see, a good chunk of them are labeled shopping. Shopping is just kind of my spending category. I just label it shopping because I didn't want to just call it spending, I guess, even though it's really the same thing. But we did have several shopping purchases. We had a couple purchases that my husband did on Audible. I had to get some postage, Lowe's, and then I had another shopping thing down here. Those items were actually all for trying to get that fence installed. And then on top of that, we were on the hunt for about a week for a vacuum. I don't like going shopping, especially on the weekends, because it's so crazy unless it's pickup orders. And I work until sometimes it's been 8 o'clock at night before I get off, because I'm trying to avoid working as much on the weekend as possible. So I've been putting in quite a bit of hours during the week. So we tried to do a couple Walmart pickup orders. We tried to do like a regular online pickup order for a vacuum. Didn't work out. We tried to do a grocery pickup order. Didn't work out. And they kept canceling my orders. So we actually ended up getting one of those little tiny mini, almost restaurant style vacuums, and then we of course needed a new broom. So we did purchase one of those to get us by, and then after we bought those, we were actually able to find a vacuum on Amazon. We have had a hard time with vacuums the last, I want to say 2 years. Probably 2 years. We had a Dyson vacuum for a long time. I love the original Dyson vacuum. I want to say it lasted me about 7 years before it went out, and actually it was still working. It's just I don't know if it was my husband or if it was the kids, but they had broke the way it stands up, and it wouldn't stand up anymore, and it was just really heavy, and so it got really hard to use. We actually used it even like a year after it got broke. I think it got broke in our move, but so it was a great vacuum. Absolutely loved it, but I want to say it was probably like a $700 vacuum when we bought it. So we didn't want to spend that much money again on a vacuum. If I do, I really want to invest in one of those little robot vacuums, because vacuuming is just one of those things, like, it's just one more thing to do, But so we went ahead and we actually bought a smaller Dyson vacuum. It was one of the newer models. They said it was great. Sadly, we've got a lot of carpet. Our house is about 2,500 square feet, and half of it is carpet, half of it is wood floor, and or that pergo floor or whatever. And the little one just kept overheating, so we went ahead and sent it back. So after that, we bought one of these Shark Rotator professional vacuums. Worked great. Absolutely loved it. It lasted a couple years. I want to say 3 years or so. And then it just got to the point where it wouldn't suck anything up. We'd cleaned it out, but there was like no suction power anymore. So I don't know exactly what happened to it, but I was really sad when it quit working. So then from there, we bought one of the Bissell Pets. Didn't like it, didn't work. The suction was awful, and that was actually the one that we were trying to get to use and make work, and it just would not work. We also bought one of those Shark Duos that's supposed to be good for carpet or wood floor, but because of all the pet hair, the roller actually ended up breaking off when we were trying to clean out the vacuum because it kept getting clogged up. If you didn't know, we do have 4 full-size dogs, I guess. We have 3 St. Bernards and a Labradoodle. They all have long hair, and then we also have 2 long-haired cats. And so animal hair is kind of our menace that we have to deal with on a regular basis. And so it was an awful weekend. So we were looking at different vacuums. We were thinking about the Navigator. We looked at the Shark Duo. We looked at the little robot vacuums, and it was like, nah, not until we can get a bigger vacuum. And thank goodness, after we purchased this little mini vacuum, we actually found one of the Shark Rotator professional vacuums on sale on Amazon for $159. So it ended up being $168.19 with tax. So that is what we ended up getting. We already know we like the model. This is a newer model, so we haven't used it a whole lot, but we were able to use it the other day actually. And it worked out really well so far. So hopefully this will be the vacuum that's going to last for a little while, because I'm tired of buying vacuums. So between the pet fence and the vacuum, we did have a lot of purchases throughout the month. We also bought some supplies, some more supplies to start rolling our own cigarettes. We've been working on that the last couple weeks. That is actually one of the areas that we've spent the most money on in June and July. And so instead of buying cartons of cigarettes at the gas station, we are not quite ready to quit smoking. I've looked at different options, and there's just too many things going on that I know that if I try to pick a date right now, I'm just not going to be successful. So we're trying to figure out how to save some money. So we actually started rolling our own cigarettes. It has actually helped us cut back a little bit, because it's just a little different, and then it takes time to do it and all that kind of stuff. So it's actually been great. So before we started really getting in our supplies and stuff, though, we did have a couple purchases at the gas station, and then of course we had some grocery purchases as well, and we ate out a couple times. So that is the bulk of our spending for the week. The utilities and the debt payments and the things that I do budget for that don't really change a whole lot. I'm not including on my weekly tracker. I just keep track of it in YNAB. I like to adjust for the budget variances every week, and whatever that budget variance is on those specific items, regardless of whether we need the money in other places, I usually try to transfer it over into our debt savings account. And then at that point, after I build up a little bit of money, that's when I like to make a payment onto something. So that is what we've been doing. And then down here at the bottom of the expense tracker are our future expenses that we will go over next week. So I do try to update it daily, and then I go through and I highlight it when I'm ready to close out the budget for that week. So with all that being said, here is our actual weekly check-in. We did make some changes to our budget after I did the first budget video when I was doing the full August budget. One thing that we decided to do is change the way our bills hit, and our debt snowball savings, and our groceries, and as well as how much we're contributing to the debt snowball. Right now, we are trying to contribute as much as possible. I really want to get my older daughter's laptop paid off. We bought that one a couple months ago. I was actually hoping to have it paid off by now. We're really striving to pay off that credit card that we've been working on before the interest-free period ends, as well as starting to contribute to our sinking funds and more of an emergency fund. That way, when things like the fence and the vacuum and things like that come up, we have the cash to pay for it right there without necessarily having to float it over a payday or two. So those are things that we are trying to work on, and because I do know my shopping style as well as just, food and meal prepping and, things like that, I wanted to be able to have one payday that we had a good chunk of money set aside specifically for groceries. So we did put in a little more money for shopping. That way we could cover all those expenses as far as the fence and the vacuum goes. So we rearranged our budget, and all those little miscellaneous debt savings and bill savings and things like that weren't really designated for specific bills, we went through and we consolidated all of them into shopping. So we put an extra $200 into the shopping category, but with going through and just seeing kind of where I had everything kind of earmarked out and cleaning it up, I was able to find an extra $530 in our budget, and we've kind of consolidated that all into shopping so that we could cover those expenses. That way we didn't necessarily have to pull from our emergency fund. Really, a lot of that was checking account buffers and things like that. So I did leave a minimum buffer in our accounts, in both accounts, because we do use two separate accounts. But other than that, I put the rest towards shopping. That way we could get these items paid off. I did put them on the credit card, which is why they are labeled Visa here. But I put them on the credit card because I wanted the rewards from the purchase. It is a rewards card, and just from putting them on the card, I think I got $4.30 from WikiBuy for doing it online, because I do have that in my web browser extension. And I want to say from one of the other purchases, and I don't remember which one, I was able to get a couple dollars through the Rakuten web browser extension as well. And then I think it ended up being like $33 that I redeemed 1 week from the credit card rewards, and then the next week was like right around $14. So altogether, we were able to save a little bit of money by just utilizing those reward systems. So that is kind of what we had done. And then in YNAB, the other nice thing that I really like, I'm really liking YNAB. I've used it for a full month now so far, and I've got the next month's budget all set up, and I'm really, really liking it. August is all squared away the way I like it. And one thing that I really do like is that I put the credit card in there as a budget item or a budget account. And so as I record the purchases on the credit card, I usually try to do it daily. Then it adjusts the budget and it says, okay, well, you've used your shopping money and now you need to pay the credit card. And so I really do like that feature in there. And so I think it'll make it actually a little easier for me to keep track of what we are putting on the card when we are trying to utilize those extra rewards points. So that was the shopping and the food. We did put $400 towards groceries, and then we went ahead and kind of realigned our checking accounts and what I had budgeted out for everything. And all together, we ended up doing pretty well actually so far, and we were able to cover a lot of those shopping items. Fuel, I budget fuel every 2 weeks. I put $100 in fuel from my paycheck. And so since this was my husband's paycheck, we had $44.19 left over. We spent $16.96, and we still have $27.23 left over. This will be going to offset one of the unbudgeted items that I did have. Totally blew me out of the water. I forgot about the GoDaddy subscription for one of the domains that I had purchased. And so that ended up coming out of the account. So this payday, since I will be getting another $100 to put towards autofuel, I'll just collapse these two items together. Food, we did do that Sam's Club purchase, or that Sam's Club shopping trip. And then we had a couple Walmart pickups. We also ran to the dollar store for some little items that we forgot at Walmart. So we've spent $256.06. The $143.94 will roll forward into next payday, and then I'll add a little bit to it, and then that way hopefully we can still have a little bit more money going forward and be able to stay within our grocery budget is what I'm hoping for. Shopping, between the pet fence and the little extra purchases that we had, things like that, out of the $730, we've spent $559.28. And then we'll still have $170.72 left over. I'm really hoping to make this last through the whole month without overspending this time. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed that we have gone through and just kind of set ourselves up for success this month. So hopefully it's going to be a good month. But that is kind of where we're at. We budgeted $1174.19. We spent $850.47, and we still have $323.72 left over. So I think we did pretty good. So thank you guys so much for watching the weekly check-in. I feel like I was a little all over the place, but it was kind of a stressful week. Oh my goodness. So I'm glad to have that week over and to really dive into the next week. Here pretty soon I will be posting the full August budget. I should have that up probably, I want to say maybe Friday, because things just were not quite working out. My computers are still giving me fits. Granted, they are old. We've been working on updating the kids' computers, and I haven't really been able to update my computer or anything. So hopefully it'll last and work out just a little longer. But this is where we were for the week. Thank you guys so much for joining me, and we will see you next time. Have a good one, you guys.